Today on the Philly Talk podcast, we discussed the fact that the Eagles could be looking to trade Quez Watkins. Should they do that? Will they do that? We talk about that. Michael Clay, the special teams coordinator, getting an extension and a pay raise to stay the special teams coordinator. And we also got to talk about the DC once again. Sean Desai with his second interview, but Denard Wilson getting love from the secondary players. Who should be the DC? And we got to comment on Carson Wentz getting canned.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's our life. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, Eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk podcast. And today we got a lot to get into. But before we do that, Eagle Nation, help your boy out and hit that like button. It's free, and I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe, ding the bell, do all that good stuff. Let's get into it. So the Commanders, I repeat, the Commanders released Carson Wentz for who? Tyler Heineke? Sam Howell? I mean, he fell this far? Two crazy stories in Philadelphia. One in the NBA, one in the NFL. Carson Wentz and Ben Simmons was supposed to be the franchise. Showed big things and fell far from grace. Think about Carson Wentz, and I do got to give him some credit because without him and Nick Foles, we don't win the Super Bowl. Nick Foles needed home field advantage. Carson Wentz played his butt off in 17-18 season. Nick Foles finished the job. Could Carson Wentz have done it? I don't know. And with his track record now, I wouldn't bet on it. But Carson Wentz didn't just injure his leg against the Rams. Something happened in here. If he ever had anything in here, something happened. The love for the game or something. Again, 4 wins in 2020. Traded to the Colts. Kind of brings his career back, 27-7, but flames out in the last game where you could have went to the playoffs. Mad picks. Then he gets traded again, goes to the Commanders. 9 sacks the Eagles did to him. Me and LB were there. Ripped his heart out again. And now he's cut. I don't know where his career goes. It's sad. It's crazy. I'm just glad we got ourselves the franchise quarterback in Jalen Hurts. Sheesh, Carson Wentz. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Let's talk about this Quez Watkins thing. Eagles would certainly be open to trading Quez Watkins, according to The Athletic. Watkins is a speed demon with 4.3 speed, but he struggled with consistencies catching the ball. 2022, he's had some drops. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. After his second year, getting 650, 647 to be exact, you would have thought he would have been able to contribute. But think about it. He's our wide receiver 3, but he's really wide receiver 4. Tight ends in today's game are wide receivers. And we got a top 3, top 5 if you want to try to argue certain tight ends. Top 3 in my book, Dallas Goedert. Option 1, 1,300 yards is A.J. Brown. Devontae's not far behind him with 1,100 yards. And then while missing 4 or 5 games, Dallas Goedert racked up 700 yards. So the fourth guy in production is not going to have more than 500. Like, yes, he had 350, 360. He should have been better. He should have caught more balls. He came out and admitted it. He has a different mindset than Rager. Rager could really never admit his problem. Plus, we're talking about a 6th-round guy instead of a 1st-round guy. And does he need to catch the ball? Of course. But here's the thing. If we trade him for draft capital, then yes, I'm for it. But what are you really going to trade him for? Another wide receiver? If you cut him, you might save the $2.4 million, but tell me the wide receiver 4, the wide receiver 3, if you want to make titles matter, that you're going to get for under 2.4. Oh, go get DJ Chark. He just made $10 million. Oh, go get McCole Harmon. He's probably going to command $7-8 million. So you're talking about a guy who, if you keep him as your 3rd wide receiver, 4th pass catcher, he's only making 2.4. That's where you're bang for your buck. And again, he has that dog in him. 5th-round pick was John Hightower. He got more playing time their rookie year in 2020. He ain't get the shot until 2021. Quez. That being said, he strikes me as a guy who's gonna get in the gym and work on it. He came out and said, I don't like how I regressed. Has nothing to do with AJ Brown or anybody coming. I gotta catch my opportunities, and I do think he'll work on it. If we can upgrade, we can upgrade. But when you look on the defensive side, when you look at the free agents we got, I'm all for trading him. I'm all for getting draft capital. I'm all for doing whatever helps this team. But right now, my concern's on let's get our D tackle signed. Let's figure out what we're doing at corner. Who are we signing over here? Is BG coming back? What are we doing on the defensive side? Because there's way too many free agents over there. Saving 2.4 could help get some defensive players. But then who's wide receiver 3/4? Again, it's the least of my concerns. This is little stuff on the big grand scheme of things for the Eagles to get back to where they need to be. The offense is perfectly fine. It's the best offense in the NFC, by far. Now, before we talk about Michael Clay getting a raise, I don't know how. The special teams was not good. It actually hurt us desperately in the Super Bowl. I do want to let you know, in the description, in the pinned comment section, is a link for the Jan Sports app. Again, we were live on Sunday at 7 p.m., had a big panel. Stu Vision had some crazy things to say, but all in all, we just chopping it up. Barbershop talk, it is what it is. Do your boy a favor and sign up. Again, if you sign up and you do not see an option to put the promo code in, just sign up, come back to the link, and the second time you click the link, the promo code will come up. Again, the promo code is right here, and it's going to be in the description in the pinned comment section, P5DY6KKO. Please input the promo code. That lets Jan know that you came from Philly Mike. Greatly appreciate it. We want to get the support over there so we can continue the Sunday 7 p.m. lives throughout the whole offseason. It's going to get real interesting when we're not talking about who we drafted or who we should draft. We're going to be talking about who we drafted and how they fit. But Michael Clay, Eagles reportedly give special team coordinator Michael Clay an extension and raise. Again, special teams by far was the worst unit this season. Offense being the best, defense being the second. It was bad at times, including the Super Bowl. But so was this. When you punt the ball on 4th and 2, which again, Nick Sirianni said he would do that again. We were really deep in our territory, but come on, 4th and 2, game on the line. I trust Jalen Hurts in the offense more than anything. Anyways, it is over. But you punt the ball to Kadarius Toney and the Chiefs, and he makes the whole special team look stupid. First of all, AJ Brown and was on the podcast, the Raw Room, and they were talking about that special teams play. They say that it was poorly coached. Kadarius Toney ain't do nothing special. It was poorly coached, poorly designed. They get into the specifics over there. Go check it out. But again, I'm not saying you get rid of this guy, but to now extend him and give him a raise? Come on. It was a crucial part. I mean, you could look at Quez drop. You could look at the special teams. You can even look at the fumble because it did sway things, but Jalen Hurts balled out. He was the MVP, even over Pat Mahomes. He didn't get the dub. Travis Kelce said he could have been it too. It's just weird that he gets the extension and raise, but again, we got bigger fish to fry. We got more stuff to be worried about than wide receiver 4/3. We got more stuff to be worried about money being given to a coordinator that doesn't affect the cap, so it doesn't matter. This is what we need to be worried about. The defensive coordinator position, because low key, I believe Brian Johnson is the OC. Just hasn't been said. Don't know why they have to wait for both, blah, 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 blah. But again, big words by C.J. Garner-Johnson and big play slay on Denard Wilson, but big reporting by Ian Rappaport. So Seahawks assistant head coach, and defensive assistant Sean Desai is in the building in Philly today doing a second interview for the Eagles' vacant DC job per me and Mike Garafolo. Desai, a Vic Fangio disciple, is a finalist for the job post Jonathan Gannon. And again, Jonathan Gannon is a Vic Fangio disciple. Sean Desai is a Vic Fangio's disciple. A lot of people think he has a great young mind for DC, but he's still that type of guy. He's going to drop more guys back in coverage. He's going to blitz not as much as we desire. I'm not saying what is right or wrong because you have to mix up coverage, but I do like an aggressive mindset. However, there were times JG did things right. He just then doesn't adjust. Here's my thing. I watched Gate City's video on Sean Desai. He broke it down really good. And again, he did say he will play up a little bit more than Jonathan Gannon. He might do some exotic things in the secondary more than Jonathan Gannon. He might blitz a little bit more than Jonathan Gannon, but it's not going to be far from what Jonathan Gannon ran. And I trust Gate City. He knows what he's talking about, and he breaks it down, showing you guys stuff. He looks at, again, a quarterback that we think Gannon can't beat. Gannon does great against the Daniel Jones, the Tyler Heineke's, the anybody who's under a B minus, but he breaks down Aaron Rodgers. And once the second half came, there was no adjustments, and Aaron Rodgers started dicing them up like we got diced up in the second half. Again, I'm not saying he's not a good candidate, but watching, because I do believe in some of the stuff Vic Fangio does, and Jonathan Gannon did at times. But again, when you have Big Play Slay and CJ Gardner-Johnson, guys who I think are going to be around next year. Now, we will get into that Slay trade talk because of the cap hit further down the road. I want the scouting combine to come out, which is this week. We're going to break down some rookies. I do want to look at what the Eagles really are leaning towards via March 14, 15, 16 when free agency opens up. But listen to this. First, Darius Slay says, man, with all these new coaches getting jobs, I know my guy Denard Wilson should be a DC in the NFL. And then that's one thing, right? Because you could say these players love the person. Are they really vouching for his defensive mindset? Or are they vouching for the guy, such a great guy, I want my dude? Listen, my boy's my boy, so I want him to do good. Is he the best fit for the job? I don't know, but I'm going to co-sign it. Is that what he's saying? But look how CJ Gardner-Johnson approaches it, right? A guy who's had his best year in the NFL. Drafted as a slot corner, moved to safety for the first time, led the league in interceptions while missing multiple games. Gonna get paid. No cap. D will. Dang sure deserves it. This is the kicker. He helped me elevate my game the most, get my game most depth. So he's pretty much saying that already being a dog over there in New Orleans, coming over to the Eagles, switching to safety, which he said he could do. A lot of people didn't believe him, and he proved it. Him being able to be the best safety in the NFL, in my opinion, he is saying that is mainly due to Denard Wilson's coaching. No cap, D-Will dang sure deserves to be a DC. He helped me elevate my game most definitely. So that's not me talking about like I did for Darius Slay, Big Play Slay, where Slay's just vouching for the guy. That's my boy. CJ Gardner-Johnson saying X's and O's. He made me become one of the best safeties in the NFL. And that right there stands out to me because you want development in young players. If we end up losing some of these defensive free agents and you got to go young, you want guys, you want the DC, you want your positional coaches to be able to develop you because we could be like the Kansas City Chiefs and go very young in the secondary, very young in the D-tackle position, very young across the board. We could trade back to get more picks. The Eagles got 6 picks, 4 in the top 100, and then 2 7th-rounders. I believe we will get a compensatory pick for James Bradbury because I don't think we're going to be able to sign him. But again, Howie Roseman, looking at the draft prospects, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. From 11 to 17, I think you can get dogs. That being said, you move from 10 to 16. You get an extra second. You get an extra this. You get some things. And now you build up a younger roster knowing that you might lose some guys. I do think the cap is going to fluctuate. I think you're going to see some restructures being made very soon. We're going to be looking at the cap saying, we don't have this, we don't have that. We got north of 30 plus mil. Again, where does Jalen Hurts' contract fit? And again, I don't think whatever he signs for, 46, 50 million, I don't think the cap hit's going to be huge this year. Next year, not the 2023-2024 season, but the 2024-2025 season. All that being said, things work itself out under Howie Roseman. Jeff Lurie's not afraid to spend money when he can convert money into signing bonuses and roster bonuses and this, that, and the third. He will. Can't just do that for every base salary. There's certain restrictions that I'm not really aware of, but Howie knows it. This is how we do it. But a lot of things coming up, and I still think the Eagles have themselves the best offense in the NFC, and I think you're going to be able to put out a defense that is respectable because you got guys like Sweat and Reddick and Slay's coming back, and I believe CJ's not going nowhere, even if we have to tag him. And then again, you gotta figure out what you're doing with a TJ Edwards, with the Javon Hargrave, with the who that second cornerback is, right? There's things to be done. Number 10, if we don't move back, Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon, Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois, Joey Porter out of Penn State. Make sure you hit this like button for your boy. It's free, it's easy, it don't cost a thing. Subscribe if you are new and ding that bell because you do not want to miss the live stream when we do the live mock draft. And I ask you guys in the chat, who do we pick? Do we move back? Do we move up? Do we trade this? Do we do that? You pick it, and it's going to be a video of yours mock draft. Not just one. We'll do multiple. So stay tuned and be aware. Notifications on. Drop the muscle emoji in the chat. Also, comment. Pick right now. If it's up to you. Now, again, when this video's done, when you're watching this video, they might already announce Sean Desai, Denard Wilson. I don't know. It's coming close. They might have announced it right now. My phone's vibrating. Hold up. I'll be a little upset. Not really. I want to know. I want to know. What? No. So they didn't announce it. All that being said, let me know your thoughts on Denard Wilson, Sean Desai. Let me know your thoughts about Quez Watkins. And I know I posted a picture of my Twitter in the community tab of Carson Wentz being canned, and you guys been commenting like crazy on that. Let me see. Y'all been commenting like crazy on that. What we got? Yeah, like 35 comments. I'm going to start reading them, but let me know your thoughts on Carson here too. Let me know your thoughts on everything. Appreciate y'all. Until next time, you know what time it is. We out.